Hey guys, and welcome back to the Tutoring YouTube channel. My name is TL, and today I'm going to be covering the Heart of Algebra unit on the SAT Math section. The SAT Math section has 4 units: the Heart of Algebra unit, problem solving and data analysis, Passport to Advanced Math, and some additional topics that cover various topics throughout your high school math career. The Heart of Algebra unit contains 4 big ideas that you need to know: linear functions, equations, inequalities, and the context behind the numbers and variables. Systems of equations and inequalities, how to solve linear functions and systems of linear equations/inequalities, and lastly, the coordinate plane, how to derive equations from graph, and also how to tell number solutions from the graph. So these next 3 topics are going to be covered in a later video, and on the next page I have a couple questions that will test your knowledge on the Heart of Algebra unit. Feel free to pause the video and come back once you have an answer. Tutoring is hoping to expand the number of tutors, represented by T, so that more students can get free tutoring. In December of 2019, Tutoring had 135 tutors. Starting from January 2020, Tutoring accepted 10 tutors each month, represented by M. How long will it take for Tutoring to reach 225 tutors? So, the first thing I would do is try to find an equation that models the scenario, and lucky for me, question C asks that exact same question. So I'm going to solve C first and come back to A. So looking at the list of equations I have, I already see that D is going to be incorrect because there's no mention of a variable n. So as you can see here, T of n, and there's also no n in the equation. So that one's automatically going to be incorrect. C is also going to be incorrect because there's no mention of 2020 except January 2020. And the number of tutors increases by 10 each month instead of 12. B is also incorrect because if you just simplify the equation, it's going to be 145m, and tutoring does not grow by 145 tutors each month, it grows by 10 tutors each month. So in this case, the answer is going to be A, and that is our equation. So now, in order to solve the question of how long will it take for tutoring to reach 225 tutors, what we need to do is set T of M equal to 225. So let's do that right now. I just rearranged the equation. And now what we do is subtract over that constant. And the constant is going to be that 135 tutors that we had in the beginning. So then we're left with 80 is equal to 10m. Let's divide out that 10, the coefficient, so that we get m by itself. 80 over 10, and 8 months. How many tutors will tutoring have at the end of 2020? So this is going to be using the same equation, but this time we're plugging in a value for the variable. So let's say we're not counting December 2019. So we're just starting from January 2020. And January 2020 is the first month of the year. In this case, there are 12 months in a year. And we just put in 12 in place of M. So T of 12 is equal to 10 times 120 plus 135. Then we just simplify that. So T of 12 is equal to 135 plus 120. And then we add those two together to get 255 tutors. Ashley has her essay review business and is charging $100 to review the first 250 words of a college essay. For essays greater than 250 words, every 50 words would be charged an additional $20. How much would it cost for an essay consisting of 657 words? In this case, you have to calculate how much the 7 words are. So you'll have to do some type of fraction, but also, as I said before, make sure to model the scenario in terms of equation first. So as we can see, question B does that for us. So let's solve question B first and come back to A. So looking at the first equation, 100, which is the base fee, W over 250. So W is going to be the word count. I should have said that in the question, but W is going to be the word count. W minus 250, which is correct because for essays that are greater than 250 words, we're going to be charging that $20 for every group of 50 words. And then we divide it by 50 in order to find the number of 50 word groups. And then we multiply by 20, which is the price. So A would actually be correct. B is incorrect because there is no denominator on the W minus 250 term. We need that denominator because she charges $20 for every 50 words. So in that case, this would be charging $20 for every word past 250, which is incorrect. C would be incorrect because she starts charging that extra fee for extra words after 250 words. So in this case, if we plug in like 251, you'll still be multiplying this term because it's greater than 50. And lastly, there is no denominator, and it should be minus 250 instead of 50 because she charges $20 for every 50 word group after 250 words. So in this case, A is going to be the solution. Oh, I moved that by accident. How much would it cost for an essay consisting of 657 words? Now that we have the equation, we just plug in 657 into the function. So P of 657 is equal to 100 plus 657 minus 250 over 50 times 20. And then we simplify the numerator. And then we divide it. This is where the calculator comes in. And then we multiply. And then we add those two to get 282 and 80 cents. A window washer uses the function W defined by W of x is equal to 20x plus 10,000 to estimate the age in US dollars that he will be paid to wash an area of x square feet on the side of a skyscraper. If the washer wants to be paid $104,480, how many square feet would he have to wash? Okay, so this time they give us the function, and what we need to do is calculate how many square feet it takes for the washer to make that amount of money. Since x represents the number of square feet, what we need to do is solve for x, because that's what we're trying to find, how many square feet. So we set W of x is equal to 104,480. And then we bring over the constants to leave the variable and its coefficient on one side, and a constant on the other side. So in this case, 94,480 is the constant, and 20x is the coefficient and its variable. Then we divide the coefficient out, solving for x only, and we get that x is equal to 4,724 square feet. During one of his shifts, the window washer ripped his uniform. His uniform has two parts, a jacket and pants. For a special promotion, sales tax is not applied to the jacket only. However, for all items in the uniform shop, there is a sales tax of 7.75%, and the total of two items is $200 without sales tax. With sales tax, the total is $207.5. What is the price of the jacket? So this is a continuation of the other problem, but in this case, this is going to be utilizing systems of equations in order to solve for the price of the jacket. So let's set up the system of equations. The first thing that we have is the total of two items without sales tax. So we could just add the price of the jacket and the pants without adding any sales tax, and set that equal to 200. Then we make another equation. In this case, we're adding the price of the pants with sales tax and the jacket without sales tax, since sales tax is not applied to the jacket. Then we set that equal to $207.50. And here is our system of equations. This is how you write 7.75% in decimal form. You move that decimal place over to the left two times, and you remove that percentage sign. And it's 1.0775 because sales tax increases the price. So it's going to be a value greater than 1 if you're multiplying it. Then we solve for one variable. In this case, I'm going to solve for p on the top equation. So p is equal to 200 minus j. Then what we could do is substitute that, what we solve for p, into the second equation. So this is the value of p that we just solved for into that second equation. And then let's simplify the equations. So we have constants on one side and variables and their coefficients on the other side, and divide out the coefficients. So finally, J is equal to $96.77. That is an expensive jacket. Next, the question is going to ask about graphs, so I just plotted this on Desmos and printed out the screen for you. Write the equation of the function. So the first thing you want to do is find some common points. 0, 1, that's 1 point, and negative 1 and 4. You could also use 1, negative 2. That's really up to you. And the next thing you have to do is find the slope between 2 points. So remember that the slope formula is change in y over change in x, so y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then next thing we need to do once we find the slope, put it in y equals mx plus b form because this is a linear line, and then plug in a point in order to find the y-intercept. As we can see, y is equal to negative 3x plus 1 is the equation of the line. So calculate the slope of the perpendicular line. What you need to do is calculate the negative reciprocal of the slope of the original line. So in this case, our slope is negative 3 in the original function. In this case, we negate it first, so that's going to be 3, and then we take the reciprocal of it. So we flip it over, so 3 can be seen as 3 over 1, and then flip it around, 1/3. Consider the original function and the perpendicular line to be a system of equations. How many solutions does the system of equations have? If two linear lines are crossing, they will have only one solution, or one point in which they intersect. That's how you find solutions on a graph, is where they intersect. In an effort to increase the school budget, the Plattsville School District decides to register more residents to vote in the budget vote. The total number of voters, represented by B, increases with each day the voter registration event begins. The number of days since the start of the registration event is represented by D. So the equation that they give us is V is equal to 523 plus 5D. What is the best interpretation of the number 5 in this context? So as we can see, 5 is the coefficient of the variable D. And let's see what the variable D represents. D represents the number of days since the start of the registration event. So D represents days. So as the number of days go up by 1, the number of voters registered go up by 5. So in this case, what we could say is that 5 represents the number of voters that are registered each day during the drive, which is D. Most of the time, it's helpful for you to think about this in your head before you look at the answer choices and find the one that most closely matches your interpretation. Next, we have a system of equations. We have two of them, and you'll use this one in order to solve A, and use the second one in order to solve B. How many solutions does the system of equations have? Usually on the SAT, you'll see patterns. So in this case, the first equation is y over 4 plus 2x is equal to 1, and y plus 8x is equal to 4. The relationship that I can immediately notice is that y over 4 plus 2x is equal to 1 is exactly 1/4 of the equation on the bottom. So in this case, let's multiply the top equation by 4, and we see that it's pretty much the exact same equation. Since they're pretty much the exact same equation, uh, we can say that they have infinitely many solutions. So find a solution to the system of equations. In order to solve a system of equations, what you need to do is add or subtract or substitute. In this case, let's look at the equations, and we can see that the variable y has the same coefficient on both the top and the bottom equation, and they have different signs. So in this case, what I'm going to do is just add the two equations together, and automatically that y term crosses out. Then we get 3x is equal to 18 because the y term crosses out, and then we add constants on the right side and the variable and their coefficients on the left side. Then we divide out 3 in order to get x alone. X is equal to 6, and then we have to find the second variable. Plug in 6 back into the equation, into any of the two equations, really up to you. Solve for y, and you get that x is equal to 6 and y is equal to -1. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. As always, feel free to sign up for Care Tutoring. We offer free tutoring for SAT, ACT, IB, and general high school topics. The application is in the description below. That's all I have for today, so if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Also, watch out for my future videos on the rest of the SAT math section. Have a good day.